Okay, so the last thing to do is to get the barrels off. So I've got my tri-core spanner, which is like a multi-angled spanner. And A, it's thin, and B, it's got that, so it's thin enough to go over the top of the nuts, and then it's got that multifaceted sort of jaws to go over those strange nuts. So what I'm going to do, and to get the barrels off, I'm going to loosen off all the nuts all the way around. I think there's 10, but I can't remember. Anyway, I'm going to loosen them all off. Oh, and of course what I've done is I've put cable ties around all of the tappets, so that when I lift the barrels off, the tappets won't fall down into the crankcases. So very, very important to remember to do that. So there's cable ties around all the tops of the tappets. So anyway, so then with my tri-core spanner, I'm going to loosen all the nuts off, and then I'm going to put a spacer of some description on top of the nuts, and then I'm going to then unscrew the nuts further and use that spacer to actually push underneath the barrel and help lift it off. And I'm going to do that only on, I think, on these outside nuts where you certainly don't want to be doing it in the middle there, where you're quite near the end of a fin and you could easily bend or break off that fin. Whereas these two, especially this one at the front, they're in far enough; they're not going to damage the not going to do any damage to the actual fins. So yeah, I'll unscrew them and then I'll put another nut or something, I'm not sure what, or a spanner or something in the gap, and keep unscrewing and use the actual nut to lift the barrels off, hopefully. Okay, yeah, that works really well. So using my tri-core spanner, and then I've got a 7/16 ratchet spanner, so that's got a bit of thickness on the end. And so I put that over the nut, and then just at either end, just very gently worked it up. Came off a tree, and so I've got it. It's about, I don't know, a quarter of an inch off now. So I've taken all the nuts off all the way round, and then I've used my little telescopic magnet to then remove the washers as well. And I think that's very important, because when we take the head off, those washers are going to go anywhere, and they could easily go down into the crankcase. So they're all off. Nuts are all off. So I'm hoping, just checking I've got all those nuts off again. I should count the number of nuts. 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah. Okay. So then, all being well, all being equal, the barrel should maybe now start to come off. No, no. Come on, baby. They're thinking about it though. But they're only thinking about it. They need to be doing more than thinking. Come on. Damn. Right, I was trying to get away with it, but I think I need to take the starter motor cover off. But it's just catching on that on the back of the barrels, just on that far side. Yes, come on. It's just catching. So I'll have to stop a minute and take that off. I was going to take it off after, but it looks like I can take it off now. Right, starter motor covers off. So I'm hoping that now I can get the barrels off. There they come. Let's watch those corners if we can. There, barrels are off. Right. Okay. Okay, barrels are off. We'll have a look at those in a minute. But that's about it. Then what we need to do then, you can see, this is only done It's only done 25 miles, and you can see, well, I don't know if you can see on that camera, but yeah, you can. You see the middle piston head ground, I'm not too bad, but you know, it's clearly been burning oil on this side, and you might not see it was burning oil on that side. So the pistons look okay though. Yeah. No, I'm just checking to see if there was any signs of slight seizure, but they don't look too bad. When I say too bad, there is slight scoring on the backs of all the pistons, but I think that's okay. Oh dear, right. Apart from that, all looking hunky-dory, as you would expect. Right, good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean up the barrels, have a look at them, and then I'll take the piston rings off at some point. I haven't ordered it yet. I'm going to order the new gasket set, top end gasket set, and obviously the new rings. But the main thing I'm doing is I need to find somewhere that will give those cylinders a very light home. So that when we put the new rings in, I think we'll be okay. I don't want to put new rings in without giving it another home. I don't trust that. So what I need to do is, with the cylinders now, I need to take the pillar bolts out. I'm just going to take this camera over on the tripod, so it's a bit unwieldy. But so we got these pillar bolts sticking out, and I know they'll have to come out anyway because we're having a hone. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to heat up. I'll put it in the Barbie and get the head nice and hot. So then these pillar bolts should come out, because I know they're in. I put them in fairly tight because you know when when you take the head studs out, you don't want these unscrewing. So these are in pretty tight. But obviously I've got the tappets held in with these cable ties at the moment. And obviously I don't want to put that, and it's also got the rubber seals on the foot of the pushrod tube. So I'm going to clean the whole thing up a bit, get rid of the tappets so I can get rid of the cable ties, get rid of the gasket off the bottom, and then I'll heat it all up to get these off. Then I can get the remains of the composite gasket off. Composite gasket kind of did its job. I think half of it is on the head and the other half is on the, so you know there's going to be some good old-fashioned scraping going on there, I'm afraid, to get rid of the remains of the gasket off the head and the remains of the gasket off the barrels. But we're okay. Yeah, you can see now. I think you can see, how clearly there's been oil, on those. It's not good. It's not good. So anyway, we'll get those rings off. Let's have a look at the barrels. Yeah, you see, I mean, there's quite obvious scoring. Let's see if I can get a bit of better angle. And I'm sure that it shouldn't be that. I can't get the light on that one for some reason. I've got a big light on, but it seems to be facing in the wrong direction. Never mind. Okay, the bottom of the barrels, you've still got that. You can see where the piston sort of rings end, where there's like heavy scoring, and then it suddenly goes smooth. That's let's see if I can angle that so I can point at it. Yeah, so like, I'll get my finger in the right place. Wrong barrel. So like it's heavily scored down to there where my thumb is, and then it's smooth. So that's all the metal that the rings have taken off, and that's why I think the rings are a bit knackered, because I've had to take so much metal off to it's been quite heavily. The honing was too heavy. You can see the massive difference there between where the rings were and where they weren't. So anyway, but then where the rings were, there's still quite heavy scoring, and I think that's why the scoring was so deep that even when the rings did their job, there's still quite a lot of scoring there, which I think is deeper than it should be. I know we should have that cross. I can't get any light on that last cylinder, but it doesn't matter. Yeah, okay, but anyway, yeah, so I need to get the pillar bolts out, because if we're going to have it honed, I'm pretty sure we're going to need the pillar bolts out for them to get to it properly. Oh well, anyway, we're dismantled now, so you know, half the battle, as it were. Are off now, and I've taken the pistons out as well, and so I've got the barrels and the pistons in their respective bores, and I'm going to send the whole lot off now to Dave Smith in Lancashire and get his opinion on the bores and whether they need rehoning or whether they're okay as they are or whatever the situation is. So I'm just going to send them all off and see what he thinks.